Peace, everyone. Um, this is Ogun back again, the Black Fathers Academy. So, today's topic, I'm really excited about this topic. The importance of brotherhood and learning how to be a strong man and a strong father. And one thing I always want to emphasize, what you understand, what constitutes your manhood should translate to your fatherhood, right? You cannot be a good father if you are not a good man, right? Your manhood comes first, right? In the brotherhood, and I know this from experience, and I'm gonna share some of those experiences. Those experiences, man, the accountability of having a brotherhood, it is so valued. And I've realized that a lot of men don't have it, right? Now, you have men that have brothers, homeboys, friends, but how many have principled men? Men that walk with honor, live with honor, men that have some deep awareness about themselves, and they have a track record of being diligent in righteousness, right? I didn't say being perfect, but being diligent in righteousness. Like, they've developed a track record. And that's important because as men, we need models for our manhood. We need models for our fatherhood. And when we're going through life experiences, whether it's personal or family, we need to be able to go somewhere to be able to ask questions, to be able to get the real game, about how to better position ourselves. What do we need to change? What could we add on? And also to be affirmed by other fathers. That is very essential, is those affirmations, when you are doing a good job, the things that you are doing well, is being affirmed by other black men who are fathers as well. Brotherhood. Our brotherhood should be of principled men, right? They have a track record of righteousness. And I know that's not in plenty everywhere, but you got some great brothers out there, and great older men that have great, valuable experiences that we could learn from. And in my path, ever since I've had family, I've had a brotherhood. Ever since I've had a family, I've always had a brotherhood. Some of the brothers have changed, and there are certain people that have not changed over the years. But regardless of those changes, all of these brothers were able to feed me in a certain capacity that gave me direction, love, and perspectives that allowed me to step outside of my individual self, right? And I'm just eternally grateful. And to this day, I have a brotherhood. I have a brotherhood to this day that when I'm confused about things, I need another perspective and things like that, I go to these brothers. Now, having a strong brotherhood should be your foundation, but you should also have great relationships with women too, that you can talk to about womanhood and fatherhood if she understands some aspect of parenting and just understanding a woman's perspective, right? I talked to my sister yesterday, right? I have a sister that lives out of state, my older sister, and we're not even on the same path as far as how we live our lives and stuff like that. But she's a great person and she's a great mother, right? And when I'm dealing with certain things, I talk to my big sister to get that woman's perspective, right? And I also have an aunt, very rich perspectives, very, very rich. And our spirits are very similar. I have an aunt, that could really put me down. And this is just in my family, my bloodline. But back to the brothers, right? We don't need the type of brotherhoods where conversations of substance are not held regularly, right? It's okay to shuck and jive with your, you know what I mean, with your brothers, you know. Everything don't always have to be serious. But I believe most of our conversations need to be about seriousness. Most of them need to be, you know, where we are really developing our minds. If y'all can work out, I'm very adamant about fitness. Actually, if you ever notice, like my clothes that I wear, they're all fitness clothes. I mean, I know you don't see my shorts and stuff, but I wear fitness shirts a lot because that's a part of my lifestyle. And I'll be touching on health and wellness and the importance of that for Black fathers, right? I will be touching on that in another video. But we need to be having brotherhoods that have substance. And we can't be around brothers who are yes men. That when we did wrong, we out of line, we out of pocket, we don't check each other. That's unhealthy. That's very unhealthy, right? We need brothers who are objective or can be objective when they are looking at some of our behaviors. And it's good to be able to have brothers that you spend time with so y'all can see each other, see how you move. And that's what helped me, right? Some of us have people we call friends and stuff. And I understand everybody can determine who their friend is, but everybody don't see how people move, right? You can't see everything about a person, but I know like my soldiers, a lot of them, they have gotten to see how I moved as an individual, like just dealing with the world as a working man, because I've worked with some of my brothers, like actually 9 to 5. They've been in my houses. They've known about certain conflicts, like when I was married, you know. So it was a lot things that I was going through with different children of mine. So they were able to really see on a personal level who I really am. So if somebody needed to pull me to the side, or if I asked for perspective, they had more of an informed view or an idea of how to address me, right? But even if you don't have all of that right now, you know, if you don't have a brotherhood, become part of a brotherhood. Now me, you see the flag in the back. My politics, I'm a Pan-African nationalist, right? And most, 90% of my, maybe 80% of my brotherhood is Pan-African nationalist. However, I don't believe everybody have to be of your same politics in order for you to be part of a brotherhood. They just need to be principled men, in my opinion, right? They just need to be principled men who has a track of righteousness, right? Because to be an African, which I identify myself as, is always exercising my ability to walk in righteousness and to align myself with universal law. And I use African culture as the yardstick, or indigenous, traditional African culture, to judge myself by, and by the men that I have learned from, right? In, you know, books and all of these different things, right? But you don't need somebody that share your same cultural and political views. You just need men that understand some very valuable things about life, and they honor their manhood and they honor their fatherhood, right? So it's important that we're able to have conversations, because as brothers, it's a lot of things that we deal with that we don't feel like it's cool to talk about. It's vulnerabilities that we need to be having discussions about. We don't always feel adequate. There's times that we feel insecure. We need to be able to have a space and a place to be able to have those conversations and to dive deep. Brothers sometimes need to shed tears. They need to cry. They need to let go, right? And part of the problem with the emotional disposition of the black man, and what goes on with certain black brothers that end up doing a lot of damage to their family, is they do not have access to positive channels to allow them to be able to purge, to cleanse themselves, to be renewed, right? This culture, what it does with men, what it does to just men in general, but particularly black men, it handicaps us, right? It really handicaps us. So we gotta find an alternative to that, and we need a safe space, right? And it could be hard, I'm telling you. It's things that I've heard about myself in the past. I'm telling you, it hurt me, and I certain things I was thinking about on my mind for years, about certain things my brothers had said to me, especially my elder, right? One day I'm gonna do an interview with my elder, you know what I'm saying? That would be a treat, you know what I'm saying? My elder, especially him, right? But I'm dedicated to walk upright. So that's what checked me. That's what checks my insecurity and things like that, right? It's because I'm dedicated and I'm very sincere in walking upright. And it's not always easy, especially depending on how we were orientated into being a man, or what our idea of being a man is. I come from a good family. The family structure was lacking some fundamental things, right? But I had a good family. I have a good family. But there was a time I went to the streets. And there's trauma that I have that come from the streets. And with that trauma, it has created an underdevelopment in my thinking at times that I have to challenge, right? I've gotten a lot better over the years. But there's still more inner work that I must do. And when we don't check the deficiencies and things that we have, we bring that stuff to our family forefront. Prime example, my oldest son, he's getting ready to turn 20 in a few days, He got to a certain point where as though he's ready to start challenging me physically, right? Physically. And he knew I was practicing restraint with him. And I believe that due to the fact that he saw me practicing restraint, it made him turn up more. And I'm telling you, being dead honest, many days it was in my mind to beat the living out of him. Literally, really. It had been in my mind many days, almost to the extent like he wasn't my son, right? But I had to go to the brothers. And look at other solutions of addressing my son's behavior. And we have a better relationship now, right? And I'm going to talk about that on another day, because that's another story too that maybe some brothers can really learn from, is my journey with my oldest son, right? That's been a very rough and tough process for me. But I acknowledge that it could be worse. I'm glad for what we do have, right? But if it wasn't for the brothers, I would have put my hands on him, and I'd probably been in prison. I wouldn't even been able to make this, because I'd have been in prison, right? That's the truth, right? And because I was thinking with my street mind. When I was, I kept evaluating it and things like that. I was thinking with my street mind. And then it was a cumulative effect, because the type of person that I am is that I try to carry myself very humble and very peaceful. And what I've noticed is, since I give people more space to be them, I'm not quick to go off on people. I feel like people take advantage of that, right? Whereas, the things that I know, with my training and stuff, I know that I'm very well capable of showing certain people certain things that they didn't desire, right? And a certain street part of me, when it's triggered, it want to bring that out. And for years, I've been practicing not submitting or succumbing to my inner niggerisms, right? And so I feel like people take that stuff for granted, and there's a certain side of me that certain people don't learn unless you serve them, right? So, and I still do believe that. Not saying people have to be served, but I do believe that people do this is because people ain't serving them, right? And serving them right, right? So it's like I was already dealing with that on my mind, and my spirit did hang with my son. It's like, it's just another one. It's just more weight of people that's taking me for granted, as if I can't be this type of individual, right? But I've had to go to a place of peace and silence and understand conflict resolution. I understand as a man that there's a time for war, right? But as a warrior, war is the last thing, because war is costly. And when destruction go about, you want to be able to evaluate and say, I had no choice. I can't go into war based off my ego, or because the fact that I can't handle, what somebody said to me, or how they looked at me, or them showing off their ego, or really their own insecurity, because that's really what it is, So I had to, look deep into that. I really did. And I continue to do that, with other people, because I go through a lot of interesting situations with people. Maybe one day I'll talk about some of these things, but it makes me a better person. It makes me a better person, to see certain people who really have a severe misunderstanding, and I don't react based on my niggerisms. I react on my higher self, because I think for anybody that's out here, everybody should have boundaries. I know what my boundaries are, I know what my boundaries are. And I've had to learn to stick with my boundaries. That for the most part, I have a line, I have a circle. You can say what you want. You can call me whatever you want. You can call me whatever name you want. If anything go past that radius, I engage. Other than that, I won't engage, right? But the brotherhood has helped to reinforce that in me. One of my brothers, you know what I'm saying, who is even more skilled than I am in certain areas, I'll say. He practiced that. That's a way of living. He been like that, And me just seeing my brother, in action, but then knowing what he's capable of, but he carried himself so gentle and so peaceful. When I was coming fresh out the streets, when I first met him, I always valued that. And so I always was inspiring. And, the more and more I mature and I grow, you know what I mean? I'm more like the example that my brother set for me, right? And I'm happy for that. That, I've started to become more gentle, controlling my facial, and things like that. And I even look friendlier, If I could show y'all some pictures of me when I was younger, I didn't even look friendly, I look like one of them guys that you really had to watch, you know what I'm saying? Well, that's how some people felt. But the brotherhood, we need information, we need inspiration, but we also need accountability, right? Because we're not going to do everything perfect, and that's fine. But we need men that can help check us to keep us in line, right? We really, really need that type of support. And sometimes we need somewhere to be able to vent. We need to be nurtured. Men need to be nurtured. Brothers need to be nurtured. And so I hope if you don't have a brotherhood, you work on finding a brotherhood. Appreciate y'all for watching this. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like this. I'm gonna put the link to my music. So I guess I'm gonna start promoting my music too, right? Ain't nobody really listening to my music, but I make some dope music, right? I'm telling you, like, you listen to it. I got some good lyrics. IamPoetDeep.com. It'll be in the description. I got a few projects out there, and I'm looking to keep working and pushing, more music out there as time develops. Everybody have a powerful day. Continue to be resilient. But let's look at how we can really go about fixing ourselves, brothers. Straight up. Peace.